Have you ever encountered someone who just doesn't seem to care? Someone whose emotional responses feel missing? We often call this emotional coldness. But what truly lies beneath this perplexing absence of empathy? Empathy isn't just sympathy. It's the profound ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It's stepping into someone else's shoes, feeling their joy, their sorrow, as if it were your own experience. But empathy isn't a simple on-off switch. It exists on a spectrum. Some individuals possess deep, profound emotional resonance, while others experience a muted, almost imperceptible echo of others' feelings. What causes this disparity? Science points to our very biology. Brain regions like the anterior insula and anterior cingulate cortex are crucial for emotional processing and empathy, and their function can vary. Studies show that individuals with lower empathy might have structural or functional differences in these neural networks. It's not a choice, but a fundamental difference in how their brains are wired. Our genes also play a role. Research suggests a hereditary component to empathy, meaning certain genetic factors can influence how predisposed someone is to emotional responsiveness. Beyond biology, early life experiences are profoundly impactful. A lack of secure attachment or consistent emotional validation in childhood can hinder the development of empathetic responses. Trauma, especially prolonged or severe trauma, can also lead to emotional detachment as a coping mechanism. The psyche builds walls to protect itself, inadvertently blocking empathy. Children who experience neglect or abuse often don't learn how to process and express emotions healthily. Their emotional landscape becomes a survival zone, not a space for connection. Observing parents or caregivers who lack empathy can contribute. Children often mirror the emotional behaviors they see, internalizing a detached approach to others' feelings. Certain personality traits and disorders are also closely linked to low empathy. Conditions like antisocial personality disorder, narcissism, and psychopathy are prominent examples. Individuals with antisocial personality disorder often display a pervasive disregard for the rights of others, coupled with a lack of remorse or guilt. Empathy is profoundly absent. Narcissism is characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance and a deep need for admiration, often at the expense of others' feelings. Empathy is sacrificed for ego gratification. Psychopathy and sociopathy, while distinct, share a core trait: a profound inability to experience empathy. They manipulate others without emotional consequence, driven by their own motives. It's crucial to note that conditions like autism spectrum disorder are different. While challenges in social interaction exist, this isn't a lack of empathy but rather a different way of processing social cues. Empathy has two main components: cognitive, understanding others' feelings intellectually, and affective, sharing those feelings emotionally. Some individuals might possess cognitive empathy but lack affective empathy. This means they can grasp why someone feels a certain way, but they don't feel it themselves. They might know you're sad, but your sadness causes no personal emotional resonance in them. This disconnect can lead to profound misunderstandings. We expect a natural emotional response, and when it's absent, we might interpret it as intentional malice or indifference. Beyond individual psychology, broader societal norms can sometimes inadvertently discourage empathy. Cultures that prioritize extreme individualism, for example, might see emotional expression as weakness. The digital age, too, can create an empathy gap. Constant exposure to curated online personas and anonymous interactions can desensitize us to the real-world emotional impact of our words and actions. When groups of people are dehumanized, often through stereotypes or political rhetoric, it becomes easier to justify treating them without empathy. This can have devastating societal consequences. Living in tightly homogeneous social circles, or echo chambers, can also limit our exposure to diverse perspectives and experiences, making it harder to develop empathy for those outside our immediate world. Paradoxically, even highly empathetic individuals can experience empathy fatigue or burnout. Constant emotional labor, especially in professions like healthcare, can blunt their emotional responses. Sometimes, a lack of empathy is a subconscious defense mechanism. If experiencing others' pain is overwhelming, the mind might shut down that pathway to protect itself from emotional overload. A consistent lack of empathy can severely damage relationships. Trust erodes when one person feels unheard or uncared for, leading to resentment and isolation. In professional settings, a lack of empathy can manifest as dismissive management, poor teamwork, and a toxic work environment. hindering collaboration and loyalty. How do you recognize someone with genuinely low empathy? Look for a consistent pattern of minimizing others' feelings, inability to comfort, or a lack of remorse for hurtful actions. They might say things like, "Just get over it," or "Why are you so sensitive?" dismissing valid emotions as overreactions, completely missing the emotional depth. Perhaps the most telling sign is an absence of genuine guilt or regret, even after causing clear harm. Apologies might be superficial, driven by obligation rather than true understanding. In extreme cases, a lack of empathy can enable manipulative or exploitative behavior. Without the inner check of another's feelings, they might use others purely for personal gain. They often struggle to take responsibility, always deflecting blame onto others. It's an external locus of control for problems, rather than internal self-reflection. Interacting with someone who lacks empathy can be challenging. It's vital to recognize that you cannot force someone to feel something they genuinely don't. Adjust your expectations. Establish clear, firm boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. Don't engage in endless debates about their feelings or lack thereof. Focus on their actions and their impact. Instead of demanding they feel differently, focus on acceptable and unacceptable behaviors. When you do X, it causes Y consequence is more effective than "you're so inconsiderate." It's often not about you. Their emotional coldness stems from their internal makeup or past experiences, not a specific failing on your part. Detach and observe. If you are in a relationship with someone whose lack of empathy is consistently destructive, professional help, such as therapy or counseling, can provide valuable strategies and support. For those who genuinely wish to develop more empathy, the good news is, yes, to some extent, it can be cultivated. It requires conscious effort and practice. Mindfulness meditation can enhance self-awareness and emotional regulation, which are foundational for understanding and responding to others' emotions thoughtfully. Actively practicing putting yourself in someone else's shoes can build cognitive empathy. Read diverse narratives, watch documentaries, and engage in conversations with open curiosity. Direct engagement with diverse communities, especially through volunteering, can break down barriers and foster genuine connections, naturally cultivating empathy. Workshops and training focused on emotional intelligence can teach specific skills: identifying emotions, understanding nonverbal cues, and effective communication strategies. Narrative forms, whether books, films, or personal stories, are powerful empathy builders. They allow us to experience lives outside our own, expanding our emotional horizons. Consciously challenge your own biases and assumptions about others. Everyone has a story, and often, what appears as indifference is a deeply rooted coping mechanism. Ultimately, empathy flourishes in environments where connection is valued and nurtured. Foster spaces where vulnerability is allowed and emotional expression is safe. A society with higher collective empathy is more just, compassionate, and resilient. It leads to better collaboration, resolving conflicts peacefully, and building stronger communities. Empathy is the bridge that can span the widest divides, allowing us to see humanity in others, even those with whom we profoundly disagree. It's essential for societal progress. For individuals, developing empathy isn't just about others. It's about personal growth. It deepens your own emotional landscape and enriches your understanding of the human experience. Understanding the reasons behind a lack of empathy doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It's about gaining insight to navigate interactions more effectively, for your own protection. While some can grow their empathetic capacity, for those with severe neurological or psychological conditions, profound change may not always be possible. Acceptance is sometimes necessary. Never sacrifice your own emotional health to fix someone else's empathy deficit. Your well-being is paramount. Protect your boundaries and seek support when needed. For children, fostering empathy is crucial. Encourage emotional vocabulary, model compassionate behavior, and discuss feelings openly and without judgment. Reading stories with emotional depth allows children to inhabit other characters' perspectives, a powerful tool for developing their own empathetic muscle. Simple role-playing games where children pretend to be different characters and express various emotions can be a fun and effective way to practice empathy. Teach children to value and respect differences, not merely tolerate them. Exposure to diverse cultures and experiences helps broaden their understanding of humanity. Ultimately, the journey of understanding emotional coldness moves us from knee-jerk judgment to a more nuanced, informed perspective. It is about understanding, not excusing. The human emotional landscape is a complex tapestry woven from biology, environment, upbringing, and choice. Lack of empathy is not a simple flaw, but a deeply interwoven characteristic. For those who possess it, cherish it. For those who seek it, cultivate it. Empathy is not just a feeling, it's a fundamental pillar of human connection and a healthier, more compassionate world. Sometimes, confronting emotional coldness in others forces us to look inward. Are there areas in our own lives where we could extend more understanding, more grace? By truly understanding the complex roots of emotional coldness, we can move towards more informed communication, healthier boundaries, and ultimately, a more harmonious society for all. What are your experiences with emotional coldness, either in yourself or others? Share your insights and feelings in the comments below. Let's foster a thoughtful discussion. If this video resonated with you, subscribe for more deep dives into human psychology and behavior. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration.